All right, everyone. The FBI was FOIA'd, Freedom of Information Act. It's to allow the public to access otherwise opaque, highly classified info. Redacted, of course, and the agency gets to choose what's redacted. And we've got no better example of that than this. FBI has to release 70-plus pages of Christopher Steele meanderings that it has. I believe it was Judicial Watch that FOIA'd them. Now, at first, when I first saw this report yesterday night from Wired Services and some of the others, I thought it was a joke. I thought it was satire. I thought, well, this is like they got hoodwinked by an Onion article or something. When I first got shown this, I'm like, it can't possibly be true. I looked into it myself. People gave me the link, several people on Twitter, to the FBI's vault. It's actually real, link in the description. Sadly, it seems the FBI has responded to this FOIA on Christopher Steele by releasing more than 70 pages of completely redacted, completely empty material. That is, all the little FBI markings are classified and all the little codes that they use. That's all there, but there's really nothing else. There are a few brief statements that are not redacted. That's basically it. Not even totally innocuous words like the or cat or something. There's nothing there. Fully, completely redacted. Now, how strange is that? So I guess the FBI is saying, yeah, you have the right to this information, what we choose to give you, which is exactly nothing. Doesn't that raise any alarm bells in anyone's mind? Now, they've dragged Congress through on the Christopher Steele stuff, and the speculation has been from some people that that's because there was potentially illegal foreign involvement within this memo and within the activities of the FBI. The speculation was that the CIA was illegally partnered with certain British groups. That's where they got a lot of information from, literally from the British intel services. This was then fed from the CIA to the FBI, even though it was improper, illegal, and not even accurate. Whoops, yeah. So they accidentally started a nationwide witch hunt, a probe into the president, among other people, that now has metastasized to a general probe of anything that happened within his circle, extended for 3 or 4 generations for the last 100 years. That was accidentally started on false info. Whoops, yeah, we might not want to tell Congress that because they might be a little bit angry. You know what would happen to the FBI? It would exonerate Trump completely because everything that he said about the FBI would be borne out. Inept, sloppy work, witch hunt, illegitimate probe, illegal data sharing, it would all be true. So yeah, naturally, they're not going to tell anybody shit about Christopher Steele. You'll probably never get closure on this. They'll manage to prevent Congress. They'll stave off Congress long enough for the public to lose interest. And then Congress will lose interest because they're only motivated by political stuff. They're only motivated by whether they can use it as a wedge issue or as an electoral cudgel. Otherwise, they don't give a fuck. They don't care what the FBI does. They don't care if the FBI assassinates U.S. citizens. Congress doesn't care. Nobody there cares. They're not paid enough to care. They only care because it's politically expedient right now to do so. If you don't get closure in the next 6 months to a year on this, you're never going to get it. That's my prediction. Or rather, 20, 30 years from now, it'll be declassified and say, whoops, yeah, we accidentally fucked up the political process, then blamed it on Russia. The Democrats were involved. Whoops, yeah, everything Trump and his fans said was correct, but we demonized him and called him horrible and evil. Yeah, we were all a bunch of slime balls, but don't worry, it'll never happen again, just like they told us after the Gulf of Tonkin revelation. Yeah, we accidentally, the entire Southeast Asian region based on faulty premises and outright propagandistic lies, but don't worry, we won't do it anymore. We're just like the time we infected prisoners with syphilis, or when we used to electroshock people, when we abducted people and gave them massive doses of LSD to see what would happen. No, yeah, all that stuff is in the past, though. We're better now. We're no longer stuck in the fucking middle of the Cold War. Bullshit. Yeah, this is a bunch of bullshit. It's literal, this is the sort of KGB Cold War bullshit that happened the last time around. The government, I think that they're restarting the Cold War because it gives them a cover for all the stupid shit that they do. All the massive spending that leads to no progress, or the massive corruption that they want to hide, but they can blame it on Russia, or they can blame it on China. Blame it on some invisible, non-existent army of propagandists, or on Nazis on the internet. That's what they're doing. They just want to drag everyone through the mud to hide their own incompetence. And largely, I don't think it's malevolence in many cases so much as incompetence. These intel agencies, one of their biggest powers is convincing people that they're all-encompassing more than that they actually are. Hey, we've got all the power. We are the FBI. Nothing is beyond our grasp. Psychological warfare, MK Ultra, machine guns and rockets. We can kill you halfway across the world. And then it turns out actually, their agents are always hungover and coked up and hiring hookers and stuff like the CIA. There's your real problem. The real problem is incompetence. And they want to keep their money and they want to keep their jobs. So when Trump came in and said, I'm going to clean house, deep state's gone, I'm going to drain the swamp, they started getting nervous and they decided to take the Democratic Party's bullshit and they built upon it to save their own asses. That's what it's looking like. The Never-Trumpers tried to collude, oddly enough, with foreign states, among other things, with their entanglements within the intel agency, namely through the Bush family. Jeb Bush's people did it first with the Steele dossier. They failed. They didn't stop Trump. In fact, they made him stronger. The Democrats took up the banner. They tried the same thing. They're like, oh shit, our server was broken into, or a disgruntled DNC member leaked stuff to WikiLeaks. Blame Russia, quick, we must take this dossier, we've got, pay him more money, we need more info, we're gonna do something about this. Then they realized it's bullshit. They gave it to the FBI, because the FBI was upset, and they're working with their entanglements from the Clinton era. And they're like, oh yeah, we can use this, don't worry, we'll wrap it up with other stuff that sounds good that we're getting from the CIA that's, in turn, I don't think the FBI knew that they were getting it from the British. I think they were honestly in the dark. The CIA probably didn't tell them. The CIA may have fucked over the FBI. Imagine how funny that would be. One agency totally trolled the other. If that happened, by the way, congrats to the CIA. You just went up a notch above the IRS in my book as far as your capabilities and your nobility. They fucked the CIA, the FBI. The FBI takes the dossier, puts it before the FISA court. It gets wrapped up with everything else. Rosenstein rubber stamps it, doesn't even bother to read it apparently. And then you have the present day situation. That's what it looks like happened. So yeah, the FBI is never going to tell you anything about Christopher Steele unless Congress forces them to. And good luck. Congress can't do shit. Half the people in Congress are so old they can't even send an email. Some of them probably can't even wipe their own ass on a regular basis. Do you honestly think Dianne Feinstein or Nancy Pelosi is capable of functioning physically on their own without continuous help? They've got that secret pharmacy in D.C. that doles out prescription painkillers like candy to these people. Anti-dementia medication, it's all off the record. You don't even know what pills these people are using. By the way, that should be illegal. The people should FOIA. They should have a right to know what our people in Congress are taking on a regular basis so that we can judge for ourselves whether they're still of sound mind. I would think a person being sane, being not demented, not addicted, I would think those would matter in regards to people that we are paying to represent us. But no, Congress disagrees. Unfortunately, Congress would have to make it clear what Congress is using for drugs. How many opiates do you think they prescribe on a daily basis to these people? Oh, I bet it's a mountain. I bet every cartel in the Yucatan is very, very jealous of the sort of drugs that Congress has. And they've probably got drugs that aren't even greenlit for the general population, like secret Nazi drugs and stuff. Oh yeah, just to take this, you'll live to be 100 easy. Why do you think these people, they're so fucking old and yet they're still kind of functional? I wonder why. Do you think it's diet and exercise? No, these people sit on their ass and debate all day. It's not due to that. It's not due to their genetics. I think it's due to something chemical that's exterior to them themselves. No, this FOIA release is total bullshit. People should be totally up in arms. I'm not seeing anyone really talking about it. This is total bullshit. Our republic's being hijacked by an agency that won't even tell Congress. They won't even tell the Intel Committee in closed session what's going on. They won't even tell the highest ranking members of Congress with the highest security clearance. They won't tell Trump either. They probably wouldn't even tell the Joint Chiefs of Staff what's going on. Complete opacity, and it shouldn't be happening. That's about all. Peace out.